How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I feel a little bit rebellious today. I feel a little bit rowdy. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's because I listened to Richmond North of Richmond for the first time in a while, and I saw some posts on Twitter that really are showing the value of why you want Bitcoin, why you need Bitcoin. I also want to talk about just Bitcoin in general ahead of the ETF, whether it's a sell the news event, talk about why meme coins are popular as well. I want to hit on a lot here in this video. Now, there's also an exchange that is having some large withdrawals, a lot of large withdrawals, and I'm not trying to spread FUD or anything like that, but I do think it's important to watch these exchanges. We've been through bear markets, right? Maybe I'm a little bit paranoid, but I do want to talk about it because it is pretty important. I think it's something to pay attention to, but I'm not necessarily saying that the exchange is going to go bankrupt or anything like that. I think it's something that is smart to pay attention to, even at this time in the market. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on that bell notification underneath the video. While you're down there, there's a link to Margex. In case you want to trade cryptocurrency, you can trade with the link underneath the video. This is a great boutique exchange out there. There's also a link to Blowfin as well, and neither of these have KYC. You don't need to use VPNs for them as well. Now, I do bring this up even while talking about an exchange that's having some large withdrawals, and I want you to be cautious because exchanges are a necessary evil in a way, right? I don't think that they're all necessarily evil, but I think if you want to trade, if you want to buy or sell, you need to use an exchange. So if you want to trade, there are those links underneath the video. There's also a link down there to HGAaccess. We called Thinkink, a crypto that went up nearly 10x since we called it out. Someone in our group called out another cryptocurrency that is small, another meme coin that they think could do quite well, also playing on the narrative of this week. So if you want in, it's already actually gone up 80%. You can actually see the crypto here, Crypto Zeus talking about FKU Inu, which was actually down a little bit on the last 7 days, but giving a lot of information, making you decide if you want to buy it. He's not saying to go buy it. We're not a signals group or anything like that. Just giving some alpha. He says risks is high risk, low cap meme coin. The theme is not PG-13 and may not appeal to everyone. It's all about not giving an F, which is what we're talking about in this video. Now, since he posted that, up 90% in the last 24 hours. So if you want access to that kind of information from really small meme coins to larger cap cryptos, hundreds of millions of dollars, you can check out the link underneath the video. There are a bunch of exclusive videos as well that we put in the Patreon from some of the top creators in the space. We had a 400K channel yesterday come on the live stream. Only about, I would say, probably 20 or 30 people were watching at the time, but we had one of the largest crypto channels out there join us and talk about the market. But if you want to get in HGAaccess, it's not too late. Join with the link underneath the video. Now, I've been listening to some music today, and all of a sudden, Richmond North of Richmond came across my screen again. And I want to talk about that, talk about why Bitcoin is so important and why so many people want it and need it and don't even know it yet. But first, I want to hit on this. A lot of people are interested in Bitcoin not because of the properties it has, not because you can self-custody, but because of the gains. They want to make more money. They want access to Bitcoin, but right now it's really hard. I mean, Alex Becker talks about this. The ETF is not a sell the news event, and it's simple. He said, the reason for this is self-custody. Say you're a retiree, pension fund, financial manager. Most people, including me, don't feel comfortable self-custodying millions or tens of millions of dollars. There's no way that you're going to leave your money on an exchange either. And we'll talk about an exchange to be careful of here in a second. We saw some big outflows from it. So really, what is the option for a normie manager managing multiple clients or an individual to add large amounts of Bitcoin to their portfolios? The answer is they don't have any option. This is what the ETF is for. It allows the biggest money holders in the world to actively invest in a way that is comfortable and easy for them. Again, no 65-year-old with $10 million of a portfolio is going to put $500K in a self-custody wallet. Their manager is not going to self-custody it for them either, especially not across 10 to 20, 100 clients each. With an ETF, they will, making Bitcoin as routine an asset in most portfolios, as we see with stocks and bonds. AKA, this isn't a sell the news event. It's opening a steady flow into the asset from the largest holders of wealth in the world. And this is what I've said too. This is a game changer. This is a fundamental game changer. It's not a one-off where some company buys $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin and then sits on it and then sells some. No, this changes the game for cryptocurrency. Now, speaking of that, you still need to be able to hold on to your coins. Well, again, stay through the video because there's a lot going on here, but I did just want to point out that there are a lot of withdrawals happening from Kraken from 400 to nearly 1K Bitcoin per transaction. You can see some of them here: 846 Bitcoin, 600 Bitcoin, 600 Bitcoin, 830, 913, 700, 800 Bitcoin. I'm not trying to spread FUD or anything like that either. Kraken's probably fine, but again, just this is something to pay attention to. Be careful whenever you see a lot of exchanges or a lot of withdrawals happening from one exchange. You just want to be extra careful. Maybe it's some kind of seeding of an ETF or something like that, but this is a lot of Bitcoin. So just, again, be careful, right? There's no harm in paying attention, being vigilant. And I realize that sounds a little bit weird because I did talk about some trading platforms before, but for long-term holds, I think self-custody makes a lot of sense. For trading, you need somewhere. So that's why I bring that up. Now, like I said, I was listening to Richmond North of Richmond. I heard it. It just came across when I was listening to it. And listen to the first line of this.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay.
People working their butt off, working so many hours and getting nothing. He talks later in the video about how the dollar ain't shit and it's taxed to no end. A lot of people hate that. A lot of people realize that, but they don't know a way out. They don't realize, maybe they know what inflation is, but they don't realize how to get away from it. And that's where Bitcoin comes in. And there's something else that just happened recently that really pisses me off as well. It shows again why you want Bitcoin, but a lot of people can't get away from being taxed unless they move countries or something, but you can get away from inflation with something like Bitcoin, something that has a fixed supply. And people get scared because of the volatility, but the volatility is what you pay for this kind of price performance. It's up 56% in the last 90 days. I'm not saying to go all Bitcoin. I know some people do that. They don't have a dollar to their name. They just hold Bitcoin. But I am saying there is a way out. I mean, you can see this kind of feeling in action too. Empower recently ran a survey and millennials think they need more money than any other generation. I find this so interesting because I think Gen Z is young enough. They think $130,000 is a lot of money. Millennials, people maybe 28 to 40 or early 40s, realize that maybe $130,000 doesn't get you everything that you want. And they think you need $525,000 to be happy. Then Gen X and boomers have already paid for a lot of stuff. They have cheap housing. They had cheap education. And they are fine with that $130,000. Millennials, though, realize that they are in the thick of it. They have to pay for kids. They have to pay for new houses. They have to pay for education. They have to pay for their kids' education soon as well. So inflation is just eating away at us. Think about some of the crazy stuff that's happened over the last few years. Look at this. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau invoked the Rare Emergencies Act, or he enacted an emergency act in a bid to end the trucker protest. This is from a few years ago, but they were able to freeze bank accounts, freeze personal accounts, go into, I think it was GoFundMe and freeze funds there. And they affected not just the people that were trying to protest in the Canadian truckers movement, but also people that were helping them. They could go in without judicial approval and freeze accounts. I mean, talk about 1984, like the overreaching brother, the big brother out there freezing your own accounts without going through any kind of due process, without getting approval. Just someone thinks that you're part of something, boom, frozen. Think about how much that throws off your life. And now, after that Canadian truckers movement, a lot of people might have thought, oh, it's over. Governments aren't going to overreach. No. U.S. private vaults, a business in Beverly Hills, offered a private and secure place where people could store their most valued, sensitive possessions. In March 2021, the FBI raided USPV. So I guess this didn't happen right now. It happened a few years ago, but now it's coming out. Broke open every single box in the vault and looked through all the contents. The FBI ran all cash in the vault by drug dogs opened envelopes and photographed the contents and ultimately sent everything worth over $5,000 to asset forfeiture, initiating proceedings to keep that property forever. This person goes through this a little bit more, the free range lawyer, saying basically they used a loophole. They're not supposed to search everything, but it was all connected to one piece on the back end. Like all the safety deposit boxes were connected to one piece of metal, and they took that off. And then they said that they had to go and photograph all the different evidence. Think about that. I mean, a lot of people think safety deposit boxes are safe, but the government can take those away too. They can take your assets away. They can take anything away, anything physical they can take. If you have your stuff in a vault in your house, they can take that away. The only thing in the world that can't be taken away in terms of an asset is cryptocurrency, because you can technically store your seed phrase in your mind, right? If you can remember it, you can have access to it forever. No one can break into it unless you make some decision, like connect it to some kind of website or try to send crypto and on some live stream and get it doubled, like all that scammy stuff. But if you play it right, no one can take this away from you. Now, I will say, I guess you could get hit by a truck or something and lose your memory, but what are the chances that happens at the same time the government freezes your funds? So this kind of stuff is going to continuously happen. You know, there are some people that just want the gains, that just want access to Bitcoin. There are other people that see the bigger picture or are a little bit more cautious. They want some kind of safety in case there's some kind of invasion, some kind of government regime. I'm honestly surprised that more people aren't talking about this from normie land, from the people that don't really love crypto. But I would think, hopefully, we can get across to them at some point that this kind of stuff will continue to happen. And if you really want to be careful, you should have some digital money that's safe away from prying hands of the government. A lot of people actually think that these ETF assets are going to be seized by the government as well. We'll see. I don't think that's super likely to happen. I do think that meme coins in general as well are kind of a big FU to the government. You know, we talk about Bitcoin a lot on this channel. I've been talking about memes a little bit more. I think meme coins are a similar thing. Like Bitcoin at its heart is trying to get away from the oppressive government. Meme coins, on the other hand, I think are kind of like an FU to the government. Like we'd rather have $10 billion worth of value in Dogecoin than a US dollar. Some kind of dog meme, digital internet money. We'd rather have our money there than put it in US dollars because the US dollar is crap. That's what some people think. And I think it does kind of make sense. And part of it is just human greed, right? Sometimes people just want outsized gains and they think they can get it in meme coins. If there's something else, they'd move to something else. If there's something else that moved up that had narrative as much as meme coins, that's where they'd be. But some people really just want to say FU to the government. They want to say FU to big money. They want to say FU to whoever will listen, whoever's out there that's trying to oppress them, take their money, take their livelihood, make them work, that kind of stuff. I did want to provide a little update too, because I know I've been talking about meme coins more recently. I did a video talking about Thinkink yesterday, which is a cryptocurrency that I do hold. I have taken a little bit of profits on, but it nuked in price overnight. Someone sold $50,000 worth of Thinkink. Apparently, it was a hack. They dumped everything in the wallet, but it's actually recovering kind of nicely right now. I talked to the person that's behind it too, and they said that the team hasn't sold anything. They're still believing that they can get up to a $5-10 million market cap. It's around 1.25 now. It was up like a couple 100% yesterday and a couple 100% the day before. It was number one on Dex Tools. Absolutely insane marketing that they've been doing recently, coming out in a lot of big channels and having a massive run up yesterday. You can actually see too, 1.5 thousand holders. They were at like 200 just a few days ago. They still have a lot of liquidity too, but they're recovering a little bit after these massive dumps. Again, just something to pay attention to. I think it still has a great narrative and really strong social media presence so far. Still 99 out of 99 on Dex Tools, but that's the craziness of meme coins, right? Someone can go and just dump within 1 minute $50,000 and it can't send down the price. But then you look back and Sometimes you see the same thing on Inu, on Dogecoin, stuff like that, and then they have a huge recovery and go on to new all-time highs pretty fast. So I'm paying attention to this still. I'm still watching it. I still hold some of my bag of Think. I just wanted to give you an update on that because, we are talking about meme coins. We are talking about FU and Think is riffing on, obviously, Larry Fink, and they're trying to swallow up all your Bitcoin right now. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Do you like this kind of coverage? It's a little bit different than the normal video, but I do think it's important to look at the two sides of the coin. People trying to make money and people trying to have self-sovereignty. Now, as I've said in the past, self-sovereignty might be priced out for a lot of people. The transactions, the cost of transactions on the Bitcoin network when more and more big players come in, it's going to be too expensive for most people to actually be able to deal with it. They are not going to have access to their own self-custody unless they're wealthy. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I will see you in the next video. Check out the links to HGAaccess and to Margex and Blowfin in case you want to trade. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.